What is up, people? Jacob here. I'm Dolphins Syndicate. We got another injury, another bad video to make. Alexander Madison out for the season. Yesterday was tackled on his head against the Bears in the red zone and came out of the game, walked off under his own power, but it definitely did not look good. All of the weight of the tackle went on his neck, and now confirmed he is out for the season after undergoing surgery yesterday. Or I guess it was early today. Alexander Madison was somebody that I wouldn't go as far to say excited to see in a Dolphins uniform. I felt like he provided something we didn't have last year. Somebody who is a thumper that is decisive between the tackles. He's never had more than a 700-yard season. He's never had more than 5 or 6 touchdowns in a season. He's not much of a threat in the passing game. So let's not act like we're losing Devon Achane here. We're not losing Tyreek Hill. We're not losing a one. We're losing somebody that was competing for the two in the running back position. And last week, I said it's genuinely a open competition for that running back 2 spot. It looks like the team wants it to be Jalen Wright. I have serious reservations as to whether Jalen Wright is good enough to really claim that spot. I think at the start of the season, he probably will be given that spot, more so on the basis of the team wants it rather than he's actually earned it. Because again, I just don't think he's that good of a running back. But Alexander Madison was going to be somebody that had a legitimate case for that spot. He is now, or was, the most experienced running back on the team. Played a couple good years, or played about 4 or 5 years with the Vikings. Only really one of them where he was given the starting role once Dalvin Cook left. In that season, he had 700 yards, which was his best. He did not have a single rushing touchdown on the season. Meanwhile, last year, 100 to 200 something yards on the ground, found the end zone 4 times. I was excited to see him, relatively excited to see him in the red zone. Again, just as somebody who's bigger, somebody who has experience, somebody who understands his role. He was going to come in short yardage situations, most likely. Was never going to be asked to get, 8, 8, 9, 10 carries a game. You're probably looking more 5, 6, 7 carries a game from Alexander Madison. And those were going to be valuable touches. As Devon Achane, we know exactly what he is and we know what he isn't. He is probably going to be thrusted even more now into a goal line back and a short distance back than probably the Dolphins want him to, with his size and injuries before last year. They probably don't want to use him in those situations. But with another running back, or not another running back, with another injury, this time being the first of the running back, it does make that room a lot thinner. Now, if you're an Ollie Gordon fan, if you're an Ollie Gordon believer, this is unfortunately great news for you, because Ollie Gordon came out, looked really solid yesterday, 33 yards on 8 touches. Also had a couple catches, actually was on 8 carries, and found the end zone. He looked explosive. He looked good, albeit against the guys that were in the game at the time with the Bears, but also with the guys that were in the game on the offensive line for the Dolphins. Those people are not the greatest on both sides of the ball that he had to deal with. And I think he looked pretty good for his first game of work. Now I expect him to see a pretty good workload in game 2, just to see so the Dolphins see what they got going into the season. Now there already are reports of the Dolphins trying to find another running back. Most notably, they've had discussions already with Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams, notably, a few years ago, led the league in touchdowns from the running back position with his time with the Lions. Now, that was a few years ago, and he's certainly not the same running back he was then. He went to the Saints and had a very unsuccessful time with them. But he does offer something that we were looking for with Alexander Madison. He's just going to run it up the gut, run into people, gain 4 or 5 yards at a time. And when you get into short distance situations, he's going to be decisive. He's going to be big. He also brings a lot of personality, which I guess the Dolphins kind of need right now, because the Dolphins just need players that feel good about being on the football field. And like there was a lot of praise yesterday about Willie Gay and how he's handled himself in training camp and how everybody's been enjoying his presence. We need some more players like that with how things have gone over the last year or so. So Jamal Williams, I don't know necessarily if the Dolphins are going to bring him in, but I do fully expect them to bring in one more running back, as you're now left with Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Ollie Gordon. If you're a Jalen Wright believer, which I don't know how many of them really are out there, and if you are, Why? I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he just from a third round rookie last year, it was just so uninspiring what we saw from him. Cannot read a hole in the line, which there weren't a lot. To be fair to him last year, there were not a lot of those issues transferred over from college as well with his time at Tennessee, and I just haven't seen anything from him that really gives me confidence that he can be somebody who gets meaningful touches in this Dolphins offense week in, week out. And then Ollie Gordon, again, looked good yesterday. I don't know what he is. I don't know what he's going to be. I hope the best for him. Like 2 years ago, he was arguably the best running back in college football, has a very subpar season last year, and falls all the way to where he fell in the draft. Now, the Dolphins, maybe they got a steal. Maybe we can continue to see that explosiveness because he does mesh a little bit of what we already have with what we want. He is explosive, and he already is a bigger back than what we have, relatively speaking, of course, because obviously with Devon Achane, not getting a whole lot of size. You have some size there with Ollie Gordon and some explosiveness. Now he's a rookie. He's a late round pick. Not even really a guarantee to make the roster, but I think at this point he absolutely is a guarantee to make the roster. I'm excited to see what he can do. Now it's kind of all eyes on him until the Dolphins bring in another running back. I don't think Jalen Wright is going to hold that running back 2 spot for very long. I think somebody else is going to come in, or whether it be Ollie Gordon that takes that spot. But sucks for Alexander Mattison. This could have been an offense where he found a lot of touchdowns because we saw the Dolphins on their first 3 drives just walk themselves into the red zone. Obviously, the first time that didn't work. Then at their 6th or 7th try in a row, got themselves finally in the end zone from the 1-yard line. It is definitely a struggle for the Dolphins to run the ball in short yardage situations, something that carries over from last year. And that was something that Alexander Mattison could have brought to this team and could have been really good at. I guess we'll never know. Out for the season. Obviously, prayers for him. That sucks. Neck injury, that could be career ending if it's bad enough. I mean, a neck injury is what led to the Colts getting rid of Peyton Manning. So those things are serious. So hopefully the surgery went well. It definitely didn't look good, the play itself when it happened. So really sucks. Another season-ending injury. It helps out potentially Ollie Gordon, helps out potentially Jalen Wright. It opens up the door for the Dolphins bringing another running back. So we will see and keep you guys updated with all the goings on with the Dolphins. Appreciate y'all very much for watching. Go check out Donovan's video that he made, put out earlier today. That was scheduled to release later on. A position battle video, and then this comes out, so we just flung that thing out there. So go check out that video where Donovan breaks down position battles currently going on within the Dolphins. We'll catch y'all next time. Have a great rest of your day. Go Dolphins.